Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Sport Federation TV, the show that brings you all the news about all the sport in all of the Western Cape. We've got a great show lined up tonight with athletics, fly fishing, darts, and we also talked to Lyndon Julius from the Western Cape Provincial Sports Confederation to tell us more news from that organization. Joining me first from the world of darts, we have Daywin Adams and Mervin Isaacs. Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have darts here. Now, Daywin, you've been involved with the sport as a player for quite some time. Tell us about your history.
So I've been in darts for 6 years. This is my 6th year. I started playing darts because of my dad, watching my dad play, my brothers. About 2016, I made the Western Cape team, and then in the same year I played the South African Championships, which was in Bloemfontein. I made the SA, the Protea team, which I went to World Cup in Japan last year. Yes, I met a lot of guys and dart players, and it was amazing to see the difference between our darts and their darts. And
Where are you from, Daywin?
I'm from Grassy Park.
Grassy Park.
Yes.
How many people in your area have been to Japan?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the thing. You took a chance on a sport, you've excelled in it, and now you're starting to see the whole world. And I'm sure Japan must have been an amazing experience, such a different culture.
Yes,
Hey?
it was very different. Quiet most of the time. You wake up to hearing creatures, earthly things, not like when you wake up here in South Africa.
Okay, lovely. Now, so one of the highlights of your career was the World Champs, where you went to Japan.
Yes.
I see you highly decorated. What are all those badges for?
This I got in Japan. Like each country will give something to say that we were here, and we exchange gifts and things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mervin, you're involved as an administrator, but you were also a player at some point.
Yeah, I've been involved in darts now for the past 32, 33 years. I've started off way back in '85 when I was still a barman, and a few guys came along, asked me to do some selling for them, some flights and stuff, and that's why I got introduced into darts.
Wow.
Well, '86, as a 21-year-old, I officially started playing for a club called Orient Dart Club, way back in Paarl. And within 3 months, I fell so in love with the sport that I decided to start my own club. Well, youngsters about 20, 23, 22 years old, so we started the Tiffany Dart Club. And around about September of '86, we renamed the club to Windfly Dart Club. So that was where I've got deeply involved in it. Starting to play actually competition darts for Drakenstein in '87, it took me about a year or two. Then I was selected in '88. I was elected as a treasurer, no, not the treasurer, the trustee of Drakenstein, and also assistant M&R. And that's why I started joining the administration side, and I'm still there.
Yeah, and you spoke about from your very early days being involved as an administrator. You started recruiting younger people. What is the age of the youngest person in the Western Cape who's competing in the sport in your leagues?
Well, the restricted age range from 12 up, but if there's sufficient people that can look after the players, they can come up to 10, 11.
Yeah.
See, as long as there's supervision.
Yeah.
But you keep them on a lower level, because I mean, dart can be a thing that can hurt you as well.
Right.
So, but from competition levels, we got like from 12 to 18 or 17. That's the age of the youth, and from that you develop into club, and therefore you play forward for the national side as well. Coming to the national sides, as you ask, there's different levels where you can compete, and that's one thing that most of the community members don't know. See, once you start off at the club level, the competition grows, then you get into the district side, the associations compete against each other. Their players are selected to represent the districts, and the districts got to represent the province. As we got the previous weekend pass in Saldanha, where all the players of the Western Province, the selected players of Cape Town Darts, the selected players of Cape Winelands, West Coast in Eden, they compete for a place in the Cape Western team, Western Cape side, that will represent Western Cape at the forthcoming nationals in Johannesburg.
Okay.
And I believe Daywin just made the youth side again.
Yeah, lovely. So when is that championship happening?
It'll, I think, in the second week of July. I think from the 9th to the 13th, and we will be playing there.
As Daywin said, getting some young people on board isn't that easy, but when we get them on board, we try to let them stay focused, because darts is like a hand-eye coordination, as I said earlier, and especially with maths. And it helps them a lot, because you have to calculate, you have to duck at the same time. See, that's the interesting side. And as you said earlier, is like darts is a family thing. There's no age restriction. It's like mom and dad, son and daughter, grandpa and grandpa can play it within your house. You can just hang on the dartboard at the back of your door and you start playing darts. And I truly believe that is how many of the clubs started, as a family thing within them. And then the street come up, and they got the street league, and then they got the interleagues, and I mean, many clubs started as a family connection within darts.
And it's a relatively inexpensive sport, hey?
No, obvious.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, you know, one of the inroads that you can make is that a lot of people don't know that when children start applying to universities, one of the things the universities look at is whether the child was involved in sport and on what level. And that kind of counts as points towards them getting placement or even a sports bursary at university and Technicon level. Now, with a sport like this, which is relatively inexpensive to participate in, that's also a selling point, hey? Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you return to give us good news about your development efforts.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you for being here.
Okay, after the break, we'll be back with fly fishing, and we're really excited to have them in studio, so please stay tuned for that.